All right, our next assignment is called a hand mandala. So a mandala is a pattern that goes around a circle. I'm writing upside down and backwards. Let's see. Yes, I did it. Mandala. So a mandala, we've made mandalas before. We usually split our circle up into parts, and then we repeat the same pattern in each part of the circle. So it's kind of like a really cool pizza. I'm just going to make a quick one. Trying to make it so it doesn't look like a spider's web, because they can sometimes look that way, but that is not what I want mine to look like. There we go. So, getting a mandala going. We're going to make a mandala using our hands, so it's a little different. So for this assignment, you're going to need 2 sheets of paper, and you're going to rip them out, glue them together to make one big sheet. So I'm going to glue this piece to this piece. You can use a glue stick, but this works better. I'm going to just make a real skinny line of glue. You see how fast I did that? That's how fast you should glue. You shouldn't be sitting there and gooing on tons of glue, because guess what? It's going to squirt right out the back. And even though I hardly put any glue on, it still came out of the back once I smoothed it. All right. I'm going to grab a scissors and trim this off. I'll be right back. All right, I trimmed off all of those little bumps, and now I'm ready to make my circle. Now, if you have something at home, like a dinner plate, you can actually lay that on here and trace it to make your circle. I'm going to free draw a circle, but you have to understand that you're making a square space as your circle. So I'm going to take this paper, and I'm going to just lightly touch it to this edge. And I'm going to make a line right here and then pull back. So here's, see that line? This is my square. This is a square right here. This is the end, which would be a rectangle. Now normally I just give my students a square paper, but I thought we could do something with the bottom as well. So my circle has to fit in this space right here. So I'm going to start by just going from wall to wall and making these sketchy marks that are curving. Trying to get a circular shape. So this is just lots of little marks. So if you can see, there's lots of lines there, but they're light lines. Once I think I can see it a little better, I'll go in and make them hard. There. Now it's not a perfect circle, but it's not bad. And I've had a lot of experience making circles. Now there's other tools you can use to make circles, like a compass, or I'm trying to think if there's a tricky way we could do this. Something that we could do that would be easy, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head that would make this easy for you other than tracing something. So now I'm going to put my hand in here, but I don't want to go get lost. So first thing I want to do is cross my circle. Try to find the middle of your circle and draw a line through it, splitting it in half. Then turn your paper sideways and split it in half again. All right, I want to put a hand into each piece of my pizza here. And I want them, my fingers are going to overlap. So I'll start by, I'm pointing this hand across It's pointing that way across my circle. So I'm not going sideways like this. I'm pointing right across, right to this point. That's the way my fingers are going. And the bottom of my hand is actually on the edge here. So your hands are a lot smaller than mine. Your hand might only go to here, but it's still going to go pretty far. And I really do want these to overlap. So I'm going to go around my hand. Keep your pencil straight up and down and take your time. If you want it to look nice, keep your hand pushed hard down onto the paper. Otherwise, you won't get a nice hand. You'll get some big fat hot dog fingers. It'll look like an antique baseball glove. All right, there's one hand. So let me go over that hard so you can see it. Kind of smoothing it out a little bit. My old hands have a few ins and outs to them. It's okay because we're going to need the whole hand. And I'm going to keep it on the paper. I'm not going to go right off the edge. All right, now for my next hand. Same thing. Pointing that way. Now I'm crossing fingers. So I'm going to trace my whole hand. I'm not going to go hard over it all until I'm done. And I am going to use Sharpie. So when I'm done, I'll Sharpie it off camera so you can see what it should look like when it's all done. But you're only doing 4 hand tracings. You're not going to, don't go crazy. Oops, kind of messed up there. It's not too bad. I have one hot dog finger right there. Let's see if I can fix that a little bit. Made it a little skinnier. All right, my last one. See how crazy it looks in there? You can't see too much because of my first hand. Looking crazy. I'm actually going to put that finger right over that other one. Right to the edge. All right, I will be right back. I'm going to trace this with a Sharpie and then show you what it looks like. All right, I'm back. Now comes the hard part, coloring. We're going to use colored pencils for this. If you don't have colored pencils, then you can use crayons. I prefer colored pencils because it's easier to do what we're going to be doing, and that is shading from light to dark, which is called gradation. So gradation is G-R-A-D. Can I spell it? No, I wrote grab. D-A-T-I-O-N. Gradation. So that means this. So this is my gray colored pencil. And I'm going to start by coloring really hard on this edge of my design. And as I get further from that edge, I'm going to put less and less pressure on my pencil until it fades away to almost white. That's gradation. And I'll go up here because this is all the same piece and do the same thing. I'm going to make every part of this gray, so that they're all the same. I kind of want to match it with the bottom. So I'm not shading. Sometimes I'll say shade it in, but that doesn't really mean, that's gradation. It's not the same. Shading would just be coloring in lightly. This is giving it kind of a misting out, like it's misting away. But this is a technique that you're going to use if you want to make things look like they're three-dimensional. If you want to put shadows on people when you draw them to make them look more real, you use gradation. And this is kind of a safe place to practice it, because if you mess up, it doesn't look weird. But if you mess up on someone's face and you put weird shadows on them, well, that looks weird. So we're going to pick 4 colors for this whole thing. And I want you to color it in a pattern. So all of these, this piece, and this piece, they'll all be gray. I'll make this piece the same in each part. This little U shape here, and here will be the same. So that it looks kind of like a pattern. The only place it's going to get really crazy in here, and in here you can kind of do it more like a checkerboard. So it's a little, you might not have exactly the same parts once you get up here. But down here you should be having kind of the same things. And yeah, so I'm going to color mine and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright, I just finished coloring. It did take a long time. If you want to do a good job, it takes a while. Every little space was a different color, and I didn't touch the same color. So like if there's orange here, I couldn't put orange here, 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 or here. That's why 4 colors comes in handy. It gets a little crazy in here. I used kind of a checkerboard to get going here, but I wanted it to use all 4 colors and be a little random. So I made sure I didn't do that. But I did stick to like filling in all the big spaces first and then going in and getting all the little spaces. Alright, that's it for this part, and we still have to deal with all of this. So we'll talk about that next week. Alright, that's it for now.